On this very special episode of the Highway 62 podcast, I'm going to talk to Audrey, Philpot, and Stump from the 29 Palms Music Committee. Now, they're kind of working behind the scenes with a whole group of other people to be the recipients of a grant to bring 30 concerts to the Freedom Plaza here in 29 Palms over the next 3 years, 10 concerts a year. So really great cause that they're working towards. So join me on this episode and be ready to vote for 29 Palms. All right, Audrey, Philpot, and Anna Stump from the 29 Palms Music Series Committee. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Highway 62 podcast. How are you guys today?
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Great. I'm glad we got both of you on there. We're going to talk about this 29 Palms potential music series. And I'm just going to kind of let you guys run with it. And then I have a few questions. I know there is voting involved, and we're in the running to get a series of concerts. So give us the rundown on what this project is and what you guys are working on.
Okay, I'm going to let Anna chime in here and give you the basics. So Anna, pull
Sure.
up a little bit.
Scoot on in.
We'll scoot on in. We're cozy here.
Right,
Yeah.
we're both in the screen. I'm going to step out a little bit, move back, and Anna's going to move forward.
So the way this started was about 2 years ago. Audrey came to the PAC, the Public Arts Advisory Committee, which at that time I was chair. And she said, hey, there's this great opportunity, but it's coming up in 2 years.
1 year.
1 year. For a music series. And it's the Levitt Foundation, which is a national music foundation. It's a private charity, 501c3, that funds music concerts. And the grant was coming up. And I said to her, okay, when it comes up, come back to me and I'll help you. By that time, I was off the PAC. And so we formed a committee to work on this grant. It was an application which we submitted, 6 weeks ago? 2 months
We
ago?
submitted it at the end of June the 30th.
Yeah, with our 2 other members, Jordan Ash and Remo Packer. And then we were chosen to go on to the next level. So, and there were 300 people who submitted the application, and 100 were chosen for this next level of the competition. What we are competing for is a 3-year grant of $40,000 per year. So $120,000 total that would come to us and the city of 29 Palms to put on 10 free music concerts per year. So a total of 30 live music concerts at Freedom Plaza.
And if I may just butt in for 1 second, that means we're going to have 60 acts, 60 different musicians and bands performing at these events. We will have a headliner, and we will have an opening act at every one of these concerts. Please say more.
Yeah, so it's a very exciting opportunity for 29 Palms. The Levitt funds spaces that are possibly a little bit underutilized, which Freedom Plaza is. You know, our town does a lot for the community, but they don't have a lot of extra funds lying around by music. I know Yucca does have a concert series, and we would like our town to have the same possibility, and it would benefit everybody. It would benefit all of the citizens of the Morongo Basin and tourists, of course, businesses, and of course the artists. because the main bulk of the grant funds the artists. We would definitely pay a fair wage, right? That's what the
That
Levitt.
is required, and it is a large portion of the grant goes toward, of course, the production of the events, but also paying all of the artists. The
Right,
Levitt
right.
Foundation's purpose is to fund musical events to bring communities together. So we have a kind of a dual purpose here, not just producing music, but really bringing people together in the community here.
Yeah, gotcha.
And if we get the $120,000, there's a matching grant that goes along with it. And
Okay.
city, we can't talk too much about it, but the city is very excited and is going to help us fund that. And some of it is in kind. So we're doing, all of us are volunteer. We've got a lot of volunteer groups that we're reaching out to in 29 Palms. And now is the voting coming up in a week.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is very exciting. So the voting is starting on September 5th. And let me just hold this up in front of my face for a minute.
Sure.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be everywhere in 29 Palms. It is going to be everywhere in the Morongo Basin. We are going to have cards. We are going to have flyers. We have social media already going. We have press releases. We're going to be on the radio. We're going to be on local television if we can make that happen. We are doing literally, and then we have ambassadors who are going to help us to go to all these locations, all these events, and locations like the farmers markets,
Yeah.
all of
The football game.
the football games. We have high school students who are going to help us to promote. We have ambassadors of every description within our area who have stepped forward. We also have Rediscover 29, which is the local business association supporting our efforts as well.
Gotcha.
A-
Okay.
Reaching out far and wide to deliver this message. And every day of the voting period, we are going to be ranked. Now, there are 100 locations across the country.
Okay, that's
that-
what I was going to ask you. So you're kind of in competition with 100 other cities, right? That have. Okay. All right. So this is our opportunity to go after, try to take out these other cities here.
Right.
we have to get in the top half, the top 50. And every day they're going to post our ranking. So every day you will know where we stand.
Okay.
And we are ready to, we're fired up. We have worked on this very hard thus far. Getting into the top 100 out of 300 cities that applied is itself a big deal.
Yeah.
But
Now
to get the grant, we have to make it into the top 50.
okay.
Now, my personal goal is we make it into the top 10. Whether that's a realistic goal or not, it does keep me motivated to keep pushing to make this happen.
Gotcha. And the 3 years, 30 concerts, is that designated? Is that part of the requirement, or is okay? So you can't change up that, do less concerts one year, but be able to attract a larger regional act, by using.
We're going to attract local acts, regional acts, and national acts. We have 2 booking agents working with us already.
Gotcha.
That, go to these acts. And of course, we know a lot of the local music.
Yeah. I think
we do anticipate that we may need to raise additional funds.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're jumping the gun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And getting people excited about free live music. And the way that the Levitt works is they require no seating. So these are places that are empty in towns, and the towns are all 250,000 or population less. So we're not.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's a different program for the larger cities for the
Gotcha.
Levitt.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're small
Interesting.
towns.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And everybody has to bring their own chairs. And the whole idea is there, there can be a place to dance in the front, or there can be
Hmm.
activities for children and families. It's a way to create community and have people
Yeah, it
be
sounds
here.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's right up my alley of things I love, doing music. So, the flyer you held up with the QR code, um, make sure, you email me a copy of that. I'm going to put a link. I'll put an extra link kind of in the show notes for this, but also in my Instagram so people can click right through directly to the voting. And let me ask you, do the people that are voting, do they have to live within a certain region, or is
Oh,
there
they
anything like
can
that?
live anywhere.
Okay,
Um,
so my mom who lives in Wisconsin can vote for us. Okay.
everybody, by the way,
I
we
mean,
do
it's
have,
legitimate. She comes here every Christmas to visit. There'll be a Christmas concert she can go to, so it's legitimate.
let's just say a couple of things, two things about the theme of the concerts
Yeah.
and also about the schedule of the concerts. The concerts are going to be held spring and fall of 2026, 2027, and 2028. So we are not going to have any concert during the monsoon period, for example. And, so we're going to have them for 5 weeks in the spring, which is the first set, and then 5 weeks in the fall. The second set, that's going to be mainly like April and October dates.
Well, I would say as an artist, we thank you for not having any shows in the dead of summer, because
No,
I've done both. I've played in Arizona outdoors when it was 115 degrees, and I barely made it through. And then I've also played at the bottom of a ski hill in Canada, in Whistler, when it was about 10 degrees, and we played outdoors. And so I've had both of those extremes, and it is really terrible for the artists. So in advance, all the artists are thanking you for making a lovely outdoor concerts for spring and fall, which will be amazingly beautiful out there.
I know. We chose the time specifically because we live here and we know what the weather is like. These are going to be concerts that will be held in the Freedom Plaza on the stage on Saturday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m.
Gotcha.
So, and
Wonderful.
you've already talked with the farmers market. They're going to arrange all the food trucks around the outside. We'll have our community sponsors there around the exterior of the Freedom Plaza to have their booths and have their information. And as Anna mentioned, we will have children's activities at the event as well. So it's going to be kind of a community event
Yeah.
on any
Yeah.
level. And so people can come there, they can buy food, they can eat
Bring
at the place,
picnics.
they can bring picnics, they can maybe go to the local restaurants, which I'm sure will be participating, and get their food to go. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of different
I mean,
ways
it's,
to
I,
enjoy
I,
concerts.
Yeah, I would say, for the people listening who aren't from the area, who don't live in the area here, who've never been over to that Freedom Plaza area. Yeah, I mean, it's a really great setup. It's a I mean, you guys know better than me exactly when it was built, but it's fairly new. I mean, it's a beautiful area. But not to mention just the setting of Freedom Plaza for the concerts. But like you said, the main drag of Highway 62 with your restaurants and stores, I mean, is a 50-foot walk from where you would be seeing the concerts. So it's a super convenient spot to do it. All the amenities that you would need, because one of the bad things, with outdoor concerts, and sometimes they're just kind of like in the middle of nowhere, or they're just in the middle of a park and you got to walk forever to go to a bathroom, or, it's just not set up real well. And this is a really great setting for events. Not to mention then, if you look off over in right behind you, you've got all these beautiful mountains. I mean, I would say I'd be hard pressed that there's many other places vying for these concerts that have anything like that, as far as the
That's
quality of what the
part right
the
there.
the event venue would be. So I also think, for people that are doing their weekend getaways from LA or San Diego that come out to go to Joshua Tree, it's another great thing to get them to drive those few extra miles into 29, which obviously, like you guys mentioned, would really benefit the businesses and the restaurants and the cool stores. And, it gives them a really good reason to come down there and experience the area. So, yeah,
We
I think
are
it's
working
wonderful.
very closely with Visit 29 to
Hmm.
do everything that we can to make, hotels and, short-term rentals, uh, available to
Yeah,
people to stay in on Saturday night. We really encourage it. Make a weekend of it. Come to the
sure, sure.
hike, come to the concert, go out the next morning for a great breakfast at Kitchen in the Desert, or, go to 29 beers at just to name a few places.
And don't forget the
Right.
themes. We talk about.
I remember the themes, but
Okay.
thank you, Anna. I do want to get that in because I know we have limited time. And I think this is what
We're good.
really makes our concert series special, is that we have thought of a unique theme. And it's going to be, so if we have 10 concerts a year, that's 10 decades. And we're going to tell the story of the 10 decades from the 1920s to the 2020s of 29 Palms through music. And we are
Oh, cool.
also, of course, going to include our indigenous roots
Yeah.
as well. So we're going to have different genres of music.
Hmm.
Every
Oh,
decade
yeah,
has different genres of
sure.
music, and those genres of music relate to the story that we're going to tell. So, for example, during the 20s, there was a predominance of jazz, but there's also other music that we'll bring in. During the 30s, it could be music of the Depression, folk music, folk songs, that
And
kind
the
of thing.
miners, yeah.
And the miners, representing all the different segments of the population. So that's the other thing. We're not going to just focus on one segment of the population. We're going to include all of them and their musics. So that means we're going to have music that's going to be Latino music. We're going to have soul music.
Hmm.
We're going to have rock, obviously rock and roll, but we're going to have rockabilly and country music too.
Sure.
Marching bands. This is I'm big on spectacle. I want there to be a lot of excitement when people come to these concerts, and we've got. So anyhow, we're doing everything from the 1920s to the 2020s in 10 different concerts with 2 acts per concert. We're also, coordinating with the city of 29 Palms Park and Rec, and we are going to be involved in both the International Festival in the spring. We're going to bring some international flavor to the music. And then in the fall, we have Pioneer Days. So
Right, right.
you might have some, cowboy music and all kinds of good stuff to go into the Pioneer Days event.
Yeah.
So
Sounds great.
I think it's totally different than anything that's ever happened here before. We've never had this kind of variety of music over 10 concerts a year for 3 years, which means people around, not only people in 29 Palms, people in the Morongo Basin, people from the Low Desert,
Sure.
people in this whole region may be very interested in coming to these concerts and discovering also what an incredible place 29 Palms is, and the kind of opportunities there are here for recreation, for entertainment, for, all the things that people love to do when
Yeah.
they in the desert.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's
cool.
our goal, but I'm sure you have more questions for us.
I'm pretty good. What I just want to make sure we get is make sure you email me that flyer right away. And I'll do what I can to get that word out there, do a bunch of posts here. I think it's a really great endeavor to put some energy into. I think it'd be great for the city for sure. It's really great. And I
Yeah,
thank you guys for putting in all this legwork. I'm sure it isn't easy.
I need to sleep.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I like wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I actually do have a day job. We all have our day job
Yeah.
because we have to make money to live. You know, this is a totally volunteer activity on our part.
Audrey's so enthusiastic. She wants to call me at all hours. And I'm like, Audrey, I'm not answering the phone that early.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stop. I know. I text her a little
Well,
message.
definitely don't reach out to me before 10 a.m. because
No, don't worry about it. But I am very enthusiastic. I do, you know, spend a lot of time focused on this, as does Anna, as does all of our committee and all the people that are helping us. And I want to give a big shout out to Ted Meyer, who's been invaluable in his support. I want to give a big shout out to Paul Razzo, who's been gone above and beyond in terms of designing all the materials. Believe me, designing the materials is a thing in and of itself. And
sure,
then
sure.
you know, getting them up on social media, having everything posted, and
Yeah.
you know, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Ash of our committee, who actually is an attorney, a young attorney who moved here to 29 Palms, but he wrote grants when he was in law school.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
when we gave a talk at Rediscover 29, he said, you know, I can help you to write this grant. And we said,
That's great.
you're
Yeah.
on.
Because
So
that's a whole it's a whole skill set in its
it is a
own,
skill
you
set.
know.
And he helped us tremendously to write this grant. And on an ongoing basis is, you know, our lawyer looks at contracts that we have to sign with, you know, and takes care of a lot of incidental items that need to be taken care of for us to keep moving forward. And then I want to mention Remo Packer, who is the newest addition to our committee. And Remo has, as you figure, with a name like Remo, what does it bring to mind? Drums, right? So Remo is a drummer. He has experience promoting and producing concerts in different locations everywhere. And he's a professional person. And we met him at the Rotary Club. And when he said, I want to help, I said, you're on. And I'll tell you, when we had to come up with all the figures for our budget, Remo was essential in calling all the production people and artists to get pricing, to figure out what our budget should look like. And so this is a small but a mighty committee
Yeah.
we have that's working on this. And
That's
we
great.
do have ambassadors and we do have friends in the community. I did mention Rediscover 29. I want to mention again the Basin Wide Foundation, which serves all of the Morongo Basin. And we couldn't do this without them. We are just a bunch of people. The Levitt Foundation is not going to say, okay, Audrey, we're going to give you a check. Go for
Right.
it.
Sure.
Well, that's not going to happen that way. So we find the support of the Morongo, you know, the Basin Wide Foundation invaluable in order for us to receive these funds and keep track of them and also have their stamp of approval on their support. Is there
Right.
anybody
Right.
you'd like to acknowledge at this point in time, Anna, that we haven't covered? I'm sure
All
there
right.
will be more
Well,
as
what?
we go along,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
you know,
And I, this is something I can do some updates on every so often here. Moves forward for sure. So everybody listening, go to the link in my Instagram or in the show notes and vote for 29 Palms to
Starting on September 5th.
September 5th
starting
through the
September
15th,
5th through
we're
the
gonna
15th.
post hours when voting opens on the 5th and when the voting closes on the 15th. And every day you will know what our rank is. The best way to vote is to either scan the QR code or text and then text the words 29 palms, no space,
Gotcha.
29 palms. That is our key word. And you're going to text it to 877-409-5525. But if you scan the QR code, then it takes you right there, and all you need to
Yeah.
do is push send.
Yeah.
And
And
our social media tags are 29 Palms Music on Instagram.
gotcha.
Right.
I'll
And
put I'll put all this
29
info in the
palms
show notes. So
on Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll put all this stuff in the show notes and on the Instagram, because it's much easier for everyone to, click on those links as opposed to writing anything down while they're driving in their car listening to us. So, Audrey and Anna, I thank you guys so much for the info. It's a really exciting program, and I'm going to do my part to help make it happen. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. And we look